David Groninger. That was the first page of one of my favorite pieces by Rachmaninoff. And I play that piece before I think about things, before I do some writing, before I give a talk, because it energizes me, it uplifts me. Well, the title for this talk, and today is December 27th, 2016, and I'm here in Seattle, Washington. The title for this talk is called The Power of Receiving. The Power of Receiving. Now, in the holiday times, you hear a lot about giving, and it's good to give, and people should give, and you should be a giving person, and obviously this is correct. But I sometimes wonder, after you've given too much, do you have a fresh supply source for receiving so you can continue to give? And are you tapped into receiving the kind of resources that somehow equate into the kind of things that you want to give? You know, an interesting thing happened. About 5 months ago, I received in the mail a check for $92. And it was from some law firm. And the letter said that apparently there was some company that was doing telemarketing by using some kind of a robot computer or computer robot type of a machine that dialed a lot of numbers. And for whatever reason, in this letter, it said that the particular equipment that they were using is illegal to use to make telemarketing, computerized calls here in the state of Washington. So somehow or another, this company that was doing that, somebody sued them, and everybody whose phone number was called by this machine, they got $92. Well, so I get this check for $92 and thinking, well, isn't this nice? So here it is, I received a check for $92, and I didn't really do any work in order to earn the $92, and I wasn't even there when the phone call was made. I don't even recall even any message on an answering machine or whatever. But nonetheless, I get this check for $92, and I thought that was kind of fun. So of course I deposited it into a long-term investment account that I have, and I thought that was kind of nice. Well, 2 weeks ago, I got another check from the same company for $59. And they said that out of the first set of checks they sent to people, of the $92, they said that over half of those people, over half, threw the check away. They thought it was a scam. They thought, this is too good to be true. Why would somebody be sending me $92? They never cashed it. And this company, they had the check had a 90-day limit on it. So you had to cash it within 90 days for it to be valid. So anyway, after this 90-day period, they waited even a little bit more. And for all the people that didn't do anything with these checks, which was over half the people they sent these checks to, that portion of those uncashed checks, they just divided up into $59 checks and sent to all the other people, probably including the first people, too. But anyway, so here's this second check I get for $59, and the thing is, it's not the size of the check, because $59 is not very much, and $92 is not very much. However, if you look at the principle of the thing, it just happened to be that I was the recipient of something. I mean, it could have been $92,000 or $920,000, but the fact is it was $92, and I gladly received it, and I cashed it. And because I put it to use, I put this money into an investment account so that somehow or another somebody's working with that money. They're either loaning it out or it's going to some use anyway, and I get a little bit of interest from that. Well, because I did something with this first thing that I received, what do you know? I received some more, and all the people that didn't do anything with that money, I guess they also got the $59 check, but they could have had the $92 check too. So when I thought about this, that over half of the people that received some good fortune didn't even do anything with it, I kind of got the idea that how many people are there whereby every single day there are opportunities for people to give things to us to give us support, to give us help, to give us knowledge, wisdom, financial support, any kind of support. And how many times do we sometimes think, well, I don't know, if somebody's trying to help me, maybe they want something out of it, maybe it's too good to be true. If it seems to be too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true, something like that. Well, I think that a lot of people are somehow tricked into and fed by guilt as well, guilt and shame, tricked into being only a giver and not a receiver, and maybe even guided as to where they should be giving the giving. Now, obviously, being a giver is a very noble kind of a thing. However, if you pay more attention to the quality of your receiving, and particularly look at it this way, where can you receive things from such that it doesn't take away from anybody else? For example, what about receiving wisdom, knowledge, skills, or education? I mean, if you read a book about how to be happy at your job, so, for example, you know, the book is still there. Anybody, you haven't taken anything from anybody. You have not depleted any level or measurement. And if other people received the skills, the insights, knowledge from a book like that, for example, now you'd have a whole bunch of people being happier, maybe more effective at work because they chose to receive something. They received a skill. They received education. They received knowledge. They received something, a value that they could put to use. But what they took from did not diminish the source. It's like if the sun is shining, if you go out and bask in the sunshine, if you allow yourself to receive, 20 or 30 minutes of bathing in the sun on some sunny day, you're not taking away the sunshine from somebody else. You're receiving a benefit. And if you put yourself in good physical condition, if you drink healthy water, if you breathe healthy air, if you eat fresh, organic, live foods and fruits and vegetables, you're not really taking from anybody other than the food you eat. It has to be, planted, back again. But the idea is that look at the power of receiving as an activity, as a skill, the skill of receiving, and consider that you can develop this skill. You can really get very great at receiving, and if you receive with the purpose of being a better giver, there's more for everybody. It's win-win. And again, being a giver, it's like a balance, giving and receiving. But it seems to me that I meet more people that feel like they're more obligated to be a giver rather than to be a receiver. Yet if they only knew these sources from which they could receive that never dry up, and if more people would be these receivers, I would think that they would all have more to give, and everybody would have more to bring to the banquet of life in the marketplace and in the home and in the whole world. So again, this is David Groninger just giving a simple observation that I got this $92 check 5 or 6 months ago for something I never even did. It was just a telemarketing call that wasn't supposed to come to me, and somebody got mad, so I get $92. And then because all these other people that got these checks, some of them thought it was a scam, and it explained that in the second letter, and they thought that it was just a joke, so they threw the check away. Over half the people did that. So then I get this $59 check. Well, I think that if you would pay more attention to the opportunities to receive and the opportunities to help and encourage others to be more gracious recipients, particularly of the kinds of value in life from a source that cannot be depleted, wisdom, knowledge, education. And if you really think about the idea of money, not just a paper dollar bill, but money as an agreement of value, you can that is infinite. The degree to which you can value something has really no limit. So there really is no limit to money when it's looked at as an agreed upon value. So you're really not taking from anybody, even if you're receiving money, because no matter what you do with the money, just like what I did with the $92 and with the $59, I put it into an investment account, and somebody is using that account to loan out money, to make money on it, and then the people that are borrowing that money are using it to get something that they want to get. So in other words, it seems like everybody wins. The bigger receiver you become, the better everybody wins. And the idea is to be a receiver and to open up your receiving channels into those sources that cannot be depleted. Well, that's my talk for today, The Power of Receiving. This is David Groninger in Seattle, Washington, saying, have an awesome, awesome week.